What do you wish wasn't so expensive? Funerals. As someone who is arranging my husband's funeral, and he had no life insurance, the whole thing is a racket. Mom died in October, no life insurance. Had to cremate and put her in a cardboard box. Still cost close to $1,500 and my siblings couldn't afford to help. My parents arranged to donate their bodies to a local hospital for research. When my dad passed away, they picked up his body and cremated it when they were done doing whatever with it. No cost to them or us. They spread the ashes at sea, which is what my dad wanted anyway. From time to time I try to convince my dad donating to science plus cremation is the way to go. Me, you won't be using your body anymore and could gift it to science and help society. Dad, sounds reasonable. Me, okay, that's what we're doing when you die. Dad, you know I don't want to be burned or have doctors poking around inside me. Me, you'll be dead. Worked at a university and got on the roof of the forensic science building to install some Wi-Fi. To my surprise, I discovered several rotting corpses scattered across the roof. I immediately called campus police only to find out that I had stumbled on someone's research on decomposition. So, donate to science and maybe you'll get to freak out a college dude who works for the university. Jesus Christ. I'd be terrified if I saw that. What depresses me is that most of these responses are for things people actually need. It's almost like without major policy reform, life itself is a luxury. Not having a car, or having a car. Public transportation is so unreliable that not having your own car often means not working, and because you're not working you can't afford a car. But just take the bus? Well, rural America, let's say I have an 11:30 a.m. appointment. Bus runs at 9 a.m. or 12:30 p.m. so you take the 9 a.m. and wait 2 hours before your appointment, which wouldn't you know it, your appointment gets out just after the 12:30 bus, so you wait for the 4 p.m. bus. Now imagine trying to coordinate a work schedule around busing that can arrive 15 to 30 minutes early or late and require you to spend hours on top of an 8 to 10 hour shift. So you have to have a vehicle your own to be reliable. But now you have purchased your $800 beater that might last a few years. But now continue $120 a month for insurance that costs $1,440 a year, or $640 more than your vehicle was worth. Plus $60 a week in gas because you're again rural and the nearest employer is 50 miles away or 100 miles round trip. 20 miles to the gallon, $3.50 a gallon, or $17.50 a day to travel. Insurance $120 per month, fuel $260 per month, so $380 is what you pay each month just for the ability to work. And maybe you're making $1,600 after taxes if you're lucky. Minus the $380, so actuality $1,220. I live in a rural area and we don't even have public transportation. Housing. The prices are ridiculous. If you look at house prices from 80s 90s, it's shocking how much they've gone up compared to how little wages have gone up. Yeah, my dad bought his house in Oregon for $30,000 in 1989. His house just sold for $360,000 in 2021. He made $15 an hour as a cable technician for Comcast back then. The hourly wage for a cable technician is $15, $20 an hour at Comcast now. How is this even a thing that's allowed to happen? Person facepalming. My in-laws paid £30,000 in the late 80s, sold last year for £410,000. Fucking bonkers. Their mortgage was something stupid like £150, they always had the best of everything, went on holiday constantly. Meanwhile our rent is almost £2,000, we live paycheck to paycheck and we will never own a home here. My parents paid $308,000 in 2021 for our 4-bedroom house in the mid-90s, I could afford that now with an FHA loan. Except I can't even find a studio condo for that price in my area. House prices. It's got so bad here in New Zealand that it's been called a human rights issue, and people are unironically putting bed and garage up for rent just to try meet the demand. Bed and garage for rent has, apparently, been pretty normal in Silicon Valley for a decade now. A friend of mine was paying I think around $2,000 per month, US, before the prices went really up. Silver lining? At least it's a climate where a garage can be made entirely livable year-round. Wait. Are you saying that was $2K/mo, for a fucking garage? And it went up? Yes, pretty much. She wasn't happy about the price obviously, but she found it acceptable in the context of that market. Other friends took that story as part of a broader rents here are insane picture, not as this one person is paying a ridiculous rent. The living conditions weren't terrible at all, it's not like she was suffering. But considering how basic the accommodation was, it's remarkable how high that kind of a place rented for. Well, she moved out of there some years back, so she wasn't there when prices in the area went much higher, so she specifically didn't end up paying even more for that specific place. But comparable garages adapted to living quarters in the area surely go for at least $2,500 there now. Fellow Kiwi here. Yeah, I've lived in tents, caravans, cabins, cars, garages, my whole family piled into one room, all in the past couple years. Right now I'm lucky to have a motel. I'm completely priced out of rents and Therese no way in hell I can ever afford to own a house. To buy an apartment in my country you need to win 2 to 4 game shows. Game shows in the UK would need you to either play about 10 plus times, on a good case 2 to 4, and on some of the worst you may only win £1,000 to £5,000, so you would have to win 20 to 100 times. How many countdown teapots for a down payment on an Essex flat? Dunno, but not even John Richardson has enough, so the rest of us have no chance. Getting sick. Was in hospital for less than an hour, I'm getting charged $2,000. My lung collapsed and I had to go to the hospital where I got lung drainage. Then they sent me to a special clinic where I got surgery and they glued my lung to my chest. 9 days in total, I paid €90. Still mad. Pituitary tumor at age 29, was wrongfully fired for not knowing when my tumor will be better. I was calling in more days than I accumulated at this school corporation as a special ed assistant. Lost my insurance and a few months later showed up at the hospital and said I feel like I'm going to die, and stayed 10 days for a brain surgery. Left with $98,000 in debt. It's been 9 years and my credit is still destroyed, but we paid, and the hospital was so generous to lower my bill cause I'm poor, to $70,000. Edit, American dollars, and also today, I learn it'll mad. My wife has severe asthma. We had no insurance in 2006 to 2007. TBH, we didn't have insurance till 2012, and couldn't hardly afford the rescue inhaler, so she had to use it sparingly and space it out, and once it was gone we had to scrimp and save to get another one. Not even mentioning a 2-week supply of Advair that was $350 out of pocket that she absolutely needed. She literally almost died twice from asthma attacks. I mean legit turning blue, unable to breath, losing consciousness and having to be resuscitated by paramedics twice. Eyes blood red from lack of oxygen. Shit is so scary. The second time after her week-long hospital stay, they gave her a 2-week supply of Advair, charged $800 to the bill. She is okay now and we have insurance, but being dirt poor is a death sentence in the US. You either accept the crushing medical debt that will keep you in poverty for the rest of your life, or you die. Rarely a middle ground. Housing. Rent is so expensive we can't save for a mortgage that would put us better off in the long run. Fucking sucks. Where I live, since I moved here 4 years ago, rent has pretty much doubled. Which has also made the homes triple in value. Coworker built a house 5 years ago that he could sell now for 3.5 times what he built it for. A family friend bought a home around the same time and sold it this summer for almost 5 times the price. Sucks cause I moved states, and got this job cause of the good pay and low cost of living in the area. Well, that completely changed in such a short amount of time. Edit, yep, I'm one of the reasons why the prices ran up here. Completely understand and accept that. My issue was I didn't retire from working in California, Texas, etc. and sell my home to come here with $800K plus to settle down, which is what my observations are from seeing people move into the area. I started a career here out of college. I started here with nothing. And feels like it's still that way. I don't own a home, and probably never will in the area now. I bought my house for $250K and I could sell it for $400K right now. But that's hard to get excited about when a new home would cost just as much or more. Same, but then I would be homeless with a lot of cash. In our area houses get sold before they are listed for sale. Too many buyers, not enough houses. Bank won't give me a mortgage because I can't afford the monthly payments, which is significantly less than my current rent, which I have never missed a payment on in 14 years. Need a bigger down payment, which increases 200% every year. So as soon as I'm closed, the bank tells me I just need to add another $10K for the down payment as the market has increased. If this keeps up, When if the bubble burst, I will be able to buy a house outright with my mortgage down payment savings. Which is lucky because I'm sure I'm going to age out a mortgage before that happens. Insulin skeptical. Has a patient come in yesterday. He has insurance but his copay for his insulting was $265. Did he pay for 30 minutes being insulted or get the full hour? How much for an argument? Dental care. I spent $5,000 to get Invisalign. I'm poor but no longer want to be told I'm poor because of my terrible teeth. Edit, it's a shame that so many people are unable to afford proper dental care. Definitely interested in getting this once I can afford it. Growing up no one ever took me to the dentist and I honestly never had any tooth pain until a few weeks ago. Went to get it checked out and what do you know, my mouth is fucked up. Yeah, who thought that dental care and vision care were separate from health care, which is already too expensive. Now I have to buy 3 insurances to just maintain my body. I've put a good 10 grand on my mouth, I feel you. When I was 15-16-ish, my dentist told me while other people would be buying cars and houses, I would be pouring it all into my teeth. 17 years later, that's quite accurate. Ouch. I had 5 root canals in 1 year, and now they're all going to need crowns and one is going to implant town. If my dad wasn't my long-suffering and much harried dentist, I'd be broke. Your dad looking to adopt? I'm a 32-year-old man but I'm housebroken. I come with a little baggage in the form of a 3-year-old son but he is decently behaved. 17 years later, your dentist is the one buying cars and houses. Just spent $3,000 on 1 root canal. Still need a $1,500 crown on top of that. Cost of basic utilities and fuel prices in Australia are through the roof. Luckily our federal treasurer gave us great advice on how to afford it was to just get a better paying job and poor people don't really have cars or drive far anyway if they do. Meanwhile he said this on TV while sitting in a leather wing bound chair in front of a fireplace with a picture of a thoroughbred horse above the mantel. Edit, I didn't realize my little bitching session would get so much attention. It just shows how across the board worldwide this issue is. Thanks for the feedback, thumbs up. Houses too. Dump of a place went for $1.20 on my block in Brisbane. Sold 3 months ago and sitting vacant still. Really makes you wonder who's buying all this property that seemingly no one can afford anymore. Private investors. They are dumping their liquidity into assets before the eventual currency crash via hyperinflation. Look into BlackRock. Their goal is to make everyone rent from them. This right here. Fuck BlackRock. One of the few legitimate functions of government is to prevent that, and they're failing miserably, actually helping it happen more than anything. In Australia, one of the most spread out, empty chunk of land on the planet? When I was on Centrelink, my job provider once put me in a course that was mandatory and I had to drive 600 kilometers a week for 3 weeks, put something like $210 fuel and they gave me $50 fuel card as compensation. More than 1/3 of my fortnight payment went just to fuel and nothing to show for it at the end, and yes, they can do that to poor people. Australian here fuel prices went from 1.30 per litre being expensive to 1.50 being cheap throughout the pandemic, and it goes cheap once a fortnight instead of once a week. EpiPens would be nice, but nah, I got a fear for my life every time I think about wanting a dessert that wasn't homemade. The worst part to me is the cost of materials for an EpiPen is so negligible. The epinephrine itself costs maybe $1, the materials to make the device probably cost like $5. There's likely a small chunk of change which is dedicated to paying research and development royalties, but at the end of the day we're still talking about a maybe $6 object being shelled out for more than $300. Would you be surprised to learn that Mylan has hiked the price up 500% since 2008? No, probably not. Because this is America, where essential, life-saving items will cost you as much they possibly can before too many people will literally choose death over buying it. One day a fucking bee will probably kill me simply because I refuse to buy into that dystopian nightmare. How much? The cost has gone up in the UK, partly due to shortages, and I was annoyed about it, but it's still only about £34 each or £68 for a 2-pack. Of which the patient pays about £9.50 as a fixed prescription fee in England, or free in Scotland and Wales, because NHS. $300 is criminal. My insulin and diabetic supplies. It's unreal how much I pay just to stay alive and healthy. I didn't ask to get sick, pancreatitis, I didn't ask to become type 1. Life's unfair, but you have to keep your head up and not be so angry all the time. Transplant recipients are in the same boat. Can't exactly tough it out and stretch anti-rejection meds. My husband had a kidney transplant almost 5 years ago. Got new insurance this year. We literally cannot afford both his immunosuppressants and rent. Copy and pasting my comment from another person. A lot of manufacturers have programs you can apply for to get insulin free from them. It has household income requirements, and if you have insurance, usually out-of-pocket drug expense requirements. But if you can get approved, it's pretty helpful. Just Google X insulin brand name patient assistance program /fund/foundation. If your insulin has a generic name, for example insulin Lispro or insulin Aspart, just sub that for the brand name in your Google search. So using the example above, it would be Humalog Patient Assistance Program or Novolog Patient Assistance Foundation, etc. I think people would be shocked to find out how much drug manufacturers give away for free. We got a lady 3 months of Lovenox injections would have cost us about $10,000 to buy, and it was free. A couple years ago my hospital saved our patients about $1 million, assuming the patients would have bought the drugs without insurance, by signing them up for free drugs. Substitute insulin for your immunosuppressant drug in your Google search. Most of that $1 million savings is heart transplant patients. It's amazing how much Rapamune, Celicept, etc. they give away. Yo! Fellow T1D here, smile moo if you are looking for a diabuddy. There is a whole subreddit of us. Great place to find diabuddies. r/diabetes_T1. As a type 1 myself, I'm fortunate to have a good job with good health insurance. But I couldn't agree more, I didn't ask for this either. It's fucking ridiculous what big farm companies make off diabetic supplies. Groceries. Yeah, the ramen I buy used to be 33 cents, now it's 55 cents. Which doesn't sound like much, but that's a 67% increase in a year. I remember when Maruchan ramen used to be 10 cents each. Is it not anymore? How much is it now? It's 6 for $1 where I live. Haven't seen 6 for $1 in quite a while. $2.84 now at Walmart. Up quite a bit in last year or so. Getting almost impossible to buy eggs which don't make vague promises about animal welfare and come with a 25 to 50% markup in price. Hell, the humble cucumber tripled in price during the height of the pandemic, and is now merely doubled in price. Before the pandemic I used to be able to do my weekly grocery shop for between $40 to $60, now it's more like $60 $80. Happy to see someone else freaking out over the price of eggs. A few months ago a carton was about 79 cents. Now it's a $1.25. I used to go through eggs so quickly because they were so cheap and easy to make a meal out of. I didn't understand how my parents could waste $100/fortnight on groceries as a kid. The other day I spent $50 on razors, paper towels and a couple snacks. Growing up, my mom spent $800 a month on groceries for 7 to 8 people. That's breakfast, packed lunches, dinner, dessert, snacks, and household supplies. I routinely spend $400 a month now for just myself and my spouse, and we try to be frugal. That ends up being a 100% increase in cost over the last 20 years, which sounds alright until you factor in that my salary can't compare to those 20 years ago. Groceries are a massive percentage of my income. I rarely buy cereal, but my kid asked for Fruit Loops. $6.88 for a regular size box at Walmart. WTF? Also, the boxes have been getting smaller per gram. If you compare the actual weight from over the years, the price has been rising while the amount has been decreasing. Shrinkflation. Dental work. I need to get $5,000 in dental work, but I don't have $100 to spare, let alone thousands. I've been living in pain for years. I don't smile because it looks awful. We don't have a single good family photo. I'm pretty sure I'm going to die from an abscess one day in a year or two. I get them regularly and all I can do is get antibiotics from my GP. They get more frequent every year and each one is worse than the last. I need to get dentures and have my teeth extracted, but I can't because somewhere along the way, the health insurance people decided this stuff was cosmetic and they won't pay for it. So I live scared of death and in pain. So yeah. Thanks America. I've been here where you are. First I want you to know that it's going to be okay. I found some great relief at some free dental clinics run by volunteers during college time. You can also often find no-cost, or reduced-cost work and services at dental colleges and also dental hygiene schools as well. Here's a list of resources. Call today, don't wait. You can do this. Much love for you. https://agf.net/clinic schedule/ and 16 more https://agf.net/clinic schedule/ https://www.fredentalcare.us/https://coda.ada.org/n/find a program/search dental programs #t=us and sort=relevancy. Thank you for the resources. I will look into all of them. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button for more content. I post every day and I'll see you next time with more stories.